It's weird. Why you wanna know this? It's my life. Get out of here. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna, author of the website Russian Vagabond, where I'm writing about life in Germany and Austria. Today I'm going to be talking about something interesting for someone who are interested in Russia and want to know a little bit more about Russians, because we are talking today about what Russians can learn from Germans, because I think everyone can learn something from Germans, every nationality, and as I'm from Russia, I'm gonna be talking about Russians in particular. So the first thing I think Russians should learn from Germans, it's to be more polite, because we are really not really polite. Russians tend to be a little bit rude and tough people. If you had been to Russia, maybe you recognize this. We don't smile much, we are not saying all the time thank you and please. These things are just missing in our culture. We are learning actually when we are kids and from our parents how to be polite, what is etiquette is, but we are not really using this that much. So in Germany you always hear from people thank you and please and I wish you a good day. In Russia you won't probably hear much this good day especially, and I admit I personally don't say good day to people only in some occasions, because it's just not in my habit to say everybody, you know, with whom I encounter, I wish you a good day, something I still need to work on. Next is also related to be more polite is smile. Just smile more as Germans do. Smile to the foreigners, just to the strangers, a sign of politeness, so you're not looking like gloomy, rude person. But it's not something in our traditions and our culture to smile to foreigners. And I wish we could learn from Germans this as well. The next one is respect each other. Be in the same level. So basically in Germany everybody respects each other. If you are the owner of the company, you will speak the same way with your employee, or with the cleaning service, you will speak with everybody same, right? You would not lose this respect, you would not misbehave or something like that. But in Russia people tend to disrespect people depending on what we are doing, which income we have. There are really big gap between poor and rich, so therefore rich behave really differently with the poor people, so they don't pay respect to them much. They tend to be really arrogant in some way or another. We really have this problem, this gap between people, and so people who are rich, they think they are like, you know, they owners of this country, they could do whatever they want, and also don't pay respect to others, probably people who are lower than, who have a lower income, different social level. So in Germany everybody's same. You really see this in a day-to-day life. Wherever you do, your student, your professor will talk to you same way as they talk to other professors. It's just very respectful country and very everybody has same rights and everybody just pays the respect. And I wish we really could learn from Germany to pay respect. The next is separate your personal and private life. You know, in Germany it's a rule probably, so they separate always their private and professional life. So you're not talking too much at work about your private life, what happens yesterday, what you did with your wife, and you're not talking too much about your work at your private time. You know, when you're with your family, you're not talking all the time about work. In Russia we tend to have it all together and like mix, and it can be really confusing because you have really private relationships sometimes at work where you have really unrelated to work conversations, and it's quite common. So it's not really forbidden, it's just normal. So people mix everything. They can also date colleagues, it happens a lot, and it's just a mix of everything, and so you like lose your work and life. I think the best way to have like both of it, but just in a smart way, you know, the Russians should separate it more. Maybe not to the extent that Germans do. I also not really like to separate this 100%, but to separate it more, definitely. Next is keep city city clean. Germany is all about recycling and it's all about order, cleanness. Germany is a very clean country. If you had been here, you have seen that there are no much trash out there. You would not probably see. Maybe in Berlin, I have heard, in Berlin you can see some trash, but for example, Munich is very clean, Bavaria itself is very clean. So there are some differences, but in general, Germany, very clean country. When in Russia, we are not really take care about trash. We can just, leave it in the street and forget about this. Cigarettes, we just throw this everywhere. You can see cigarettes everywhere and it's just not very clean. So I hope people will understand this in the future so we can keep country and the planet more cleaner. It's not a good behavior. The next also related to the cleanness, it's recycling way. In Germany, everybody recycle in like 8 different trash bins. Germany takes recycling very seriously. So you have very strict rules. What belongs to this bin, what belongs to this. There are like 8 different recycling separators. So you have a glass, the plastic and whatever. And Germans are very cautious and they really follow the recycling rules and they recycle in a very good way. In Russia, nobody is recycling. We just put all trash together, like even your food, your plastic, like your shoes, everything in one bag and just throw this away. It's terrible. Like imagine how our recycling then in the end looks like. You can't utilize anything from this. You can't separate in the end. It's like it's a mess. I hope Russia will recycle better in the future and can learn it from Germany. The next is productivity. You probably have heard already that Germans are very productive. They know how to be productive. It's their trait, it's a mentality. In Russia, we are not really so productive and way less productive. I wish we could learn it from Germans. I have learned it from Germans actually, and I'm really glad that I did. It's very important to be productive. Otherwise, you waste your time, you waste your life, and you are not achieving much. Also, Russians tend to watch too much television. I know in Germany they watch as well television. Some people, of course, watch in every country. On average, it's way less. Like in Russia, I think everybody watched TV. When I even was like teenager, I was watching TV, even I'm not a fan. After I left Russia, I never watched the TV. I have it here, but I never switch this on. Like why? What's the point of this? But in Russia, it's like a tradition. You have your TV in the evening. Habit of everyone, wherever you're a kid, you're a teenager, you're adult, you're a grandfather, everybody watch TV. That's ridiculous. That's a not productive way of spending your time. The next I wish is Russians have done more sports like Germans do, because Germans are really sporty people and I really appreciate this, how they do this outdoors, how they take it to the next level, the biking, running, hiking, everything. They do all sports you can imagine. Like I have seen every sports in the world. I think Germans do paragliding, binge jumping, I don't know, everything. They're just sport junkie, most of the people, not like 100% of course, but everybody you will ask which sports you do, like everybody I know, they do some kind of sports. It's just statistically true that Germans do more sports than the Russians, definitely. So typical German will do some kind of sport, as in Russia it's not really that typical. It's not like every second person does some kind of sport. Yeah, some people go to the gym, but we don't do any outdoors. It's not like we have facilities for this, or to have a bike, to biking after work. It's like not something in our habit, in our culture to do outdoor sports. And I wish we just did this. Like, what's the reason? What's the point not do it? Why you can't go for a run? Why you can't go for a walk? Why you can't go hiking? We can go for a walk, of course, it's typical, but we are not going hiking or really doing some really good biking, with like good bikes, go for entire day biking. No, I wish we did this. Next is planning. Plan ahead. I wish Russians can learn from Germans to have a plan for a future, maybe for a week, for a month, for a year, for years, because we are not planning ahead. Germans always have planned their life probably. There are days, there are weeks, we know what happens next week, we know where we're gonna be in a month, in a year, we know what we're gonna do. We like to have it planned, you know, then we are secure, we are happy, we don't have this, like, you know, unexpected events. And in Russia, we always have lived in a country with an unexpected future, with the unexpected events. You never know what happens tomorrow, a revolution, a new president, a war, and people get used to this because we had so many changes in the country, in politics, and it's a mess. Russia always had been a mess since it was built, it was founded. And so many changes happens in a day-to-day life, in a yearly life. Russians don't plan ahead, maybe because of this, because of our past. So we are not planning even like weeks ahead. Some people don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow because they get used to this, you know. When I lived in Russia, I also was like this. I don't know what's gonna happen next week. If everybody will ask you, you will, I don't know, I don't care, because it's normal. You just say, I don't care, we'll see, who knows? It's like typical answers when you're asking somebody, what are you gonna do next month? What are you gonna do next year? What are you gonna do when you don't have money next month? I will figure out. We will figure out, like, something we will figure out. And this way Russians live. We don't know what happens tomorrow. We don't know where we get money next month. If Germans don't know how we're gonna have their living expenses covered next month, where we're gonna get money next month, we will freaking out and jump from the bridge. It's not how we get used to live. We like security. We used to security. We know what's gonna happen in 10 years. But Russians don't know. Maybe we get fired tomorrow. Maybe our company get bankrupt tomorrow. We don't know. So, and that's how we live. And I wish we could plan ahead. So Russians can learn how we can plan ahead. That they actually do this. You can plan in 5-10 years and know your path. So you can be more secure, you can be more relaxed and don't have this anxiety. It's very bad for your health in the first place. The next is to remember traditions like Germans do. I see that Germans really like their traditions. They respect the past, they keep the traditions and they follow them. You know, they celebrate every year, they celebrate most of the Christian holidays and also German holidays from their history, costumes and lederhose and dinde and wherever, all the time, just all the time. And Russians don't do anything. I don't know even which traditions we have. Do we have any traditions? Like, I have no idea. I think there are traditions because we are also old country and we have a long history, but we don't see it in our life today. These traditions probably disappeared. Now it's new generations and we are just living a modern life and not really cautious about our past. Their religion is less important. People go less to the church. We also celebrate less and less religious holidays. The Christmas is celebrated, yes, but by fewer people than in Germany, totally. In Germany, everybody celebrates Christmas. Then in Russia, I guess, like, I don't know, I never celebrated Christmas. The next is be more efficient at work, especially. You know how Germans work? We know how to work efficiently, how to get done things. They are masters, like they are gurus, very fast and efficient and don't waste their time. That's why we work around like 37 to 40 hours per week, when in Russia it's way more and we are not very efficient at our work. We tend to waste time, Facebook and coffee and blah blah blah, and and everything what can come up in our work. And of course social media, it's active. People active on social media in our work, it's not forbidden. You can message and you can have your phone on the side. People don't follow some strict rules at work, usually if you're working in the office, of course. So people waste a lot of time and therefore they are not efficient. They don't have this deep work. Germans work more deeply. They have a lot of deep work moments as Russians do. And I wish we could learn it from Germans. I definitely learn it, and I learn more and more, and I hope I will also 100% efficient than Germans do in the future. And the last is being more private and reserved and respect the privacy of each other. As Germans, we very respect your privacy. We would not go in your privacy, you know, we would not ask you some questions, have this conversation if you may feel that it's private for you, or we even don't start this private conversation, especially with strangers, with people who we don't know. We tend to be very reserved. As in Russia, we can be really private very fast. We could just start to ask some questions, which I don't know, nobody asks here. How much you earn? They don't know even you. They will say, what's your salary? Where do you live? Which flat you have? How many pets you have? What your wife does? Like everything they can ask, and they don't feel that it's something what people should not ask, you know. We don't have this privacy instantly in our gut feeling, you know. You just ask. If you're Russian, you will answer, but if you're a foreigner, imagine somebody asks you such questions and you are not friend with this person, you're like, that's weird. Why you wanna know this? It's my life. Get out of here. Yeah, so I think we should be more private and more reserved in that way, and do same way as Germans do, and respect the privacy of each other. This was almost points I think we should learn from Germans, and also some other countries should learn it from Germans if we have same issues. There are a lot of stuff to learn here, and not only from Germans but also from Germany as a country, from German's history. It's just a great country with great people, so everybody can learn a lot from this country. I hope you like this video and you learned something new, and you start learning today and changing your way of living. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for videos more like this and more interesting coming your way.